Welcome back to Attack on Titan. What is going on? Damn! Oh. Definitely killed that guy. Damn! We're not even 30 seconds into the episode. You didn't need to kill the dude. Well, tactically killing him actually was probably the better way to do it, but still. Haven't seen you guys in a bit. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Deceiver. Oh, this should be good. You know, you're lucky these Devils of Parodies completely cleared out the island of Titans, otherwise you two would be sincerely fucked. You're being very stupid if you don't take that off. Are you kidding me? Okay, you have fun doing that. I would like Falco to live, so... You're so annoying. Gabi, I liked you at the start of the show. You have been nothing but an irritant in like the last 3 episodes. You probably should have just let her die. Gabi, if you killed this girl, I swear to fucking Christ. Aw, look at the dogs. Oh, shut the fuck up. For real, just shut up. Please. No, I didn't realize it was him. Oh, that is so fucked. You know what? I would not mind if they find out and they kill this girl. Like, I'm not even. I would not even be upset at this point. She is so fucking irritating. I can't tell if she feels guilty and realizes like, oh, these are the people. You know, this is the family of the girl I killed, or if she's just like, ew, devils. Really? I bet you all just mind your own damn business, follow orders, and go away. You probably should have at least lied in that particular moment and just said yes. Of course, Flock would be one of them. Hasn't done anything wrong. Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth? Sim. The fuck he will. Sounds good to me. I forgot about her torturing him. Girl, get it together. Aw. There's some truth to that. Oh, she's that little girl? That's pretty cool, actually. Her all grown up. I can understand that. Mikasa is someone I'm like, yeah, you can sim for Mikasa a little bit. Why is she having flashbacks of this moment? What the fuck was that? Damn, that is the most terrifying looking horse I've ever seen. Good, eat her. I hope it hurts. I hope it hurts. It seems like the writers are very much like, yeah, she kind of earned all this. That is true. Well, sure, but what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. Because it's a good cover story, shut up. You've already been told that you don't have all the information and you continue to just act like this. These are indisputable truths. Oh. Yeah, you guys were yelling pretty loudly earlier. I swear to Christ. Thank you, Falco, for not being a fucking moron. She clearly could have told everyone at any point, you dumb fuck. Like, she is actually so stupid. I hate her. Even after she tries to kill you, she covers for you. Like, oh, this is the little girl that Sasha saved. Yeah, I remember. That was really awful. That Titan wasn't all that big. Like, it was so small that it was a long process. It was fucked up. Thank you. She's like, I don't recall me or my mom ever slaughtering people, so... Thank you. Yes, a century ago. Again, not her. I don't know if she actually wanted like the real answer. Well, she didn't try to kill you, so that's good. Are you still gonna be like that after she just explained it as simply as she possibly could to you? Yeah, the one you fucking killed, Gabi. I am so upset about fucking Sasha, dude. Like, that is maybe the hardest hitting death on this show, if I'm gonna be completely honest. This girl is way too nice to Gabi in particular. Like, she has no real reason to help them this much. She is so nice for doing that. Alright, it was a pretty good episode. A really frustrating one, though. Just because of Gabi, like, goddamn. So there's something afterwards. And we all know Titan shifters lose those all the time. Oh wow, they figured a lot out, actually. Yeah, you know what? What that must feel like. You know what? It's kind of their fault that they're there. That's true. Okay. This is only going to end extremely badly, but I'm game. Let's go. Well, it was an interesting episode that focused, unfortunately, a lot on Gabi. At least Falco is there to kind of balance out how annoying she is. Because I don't know, like, in the first couple episodes, I found her headstrong attitude to be kind of endearing. But as soon as you take that personality and apply the, happy-go-lucky feelings, replace those with, these very real implications of her murdering and killing a lot of people, it makes her a lot less endearing. And on one hand, it's like, yes, I can understand her mentality, where she's coming from. But then there are other moments, like in this episode, where one girl even says, like, I know you're from Marley, you guys were kind of screaming it the other day. But she clearly had not told anybody about it, didn't show any kind of ill intentions or give them an ultimatum. And Gabi's just like, oh, so I have to kill you now. It's like, are you stupid? Like, this person is clearly trying to help you out. And even after she explains everything about, her mom dying pretty needlessly after not having hurt anyone in her life, she's still just like, ooh, why are you trying to apologize for Marley? Like, she's so fucking irritating. Like, I sincerely hope she has some kind of wake-up call. I thought maybe, having dinner with the family of the girl you murdered and seeing that they're clearly just nice people would be that wake-up call, but clearly even that's not enough because she's just an idiot. It's interesting how everywhere they seem to go, they're encountering people that Sasha, like, positively affected, which is obviously intentional, and I think some very good writing. I'm curious to see how she feels about another Marleyan more than likely telling her, like, no, the person you killed was my friend, she was a good person. At least I hope that's what he ends up saying to her. It's also quite interesting that the public is, rather upset because 4 people leaked the information that Eren is a prisoner and not, a war hero or whatever. And from the public's point of view, it makes total sense for them to be like, well, what the hell's going on? Like, he saved us all, what are you doing? Because they just don't have the information that everyone else does. And it kind of sucks to see that our main characters, you know, the ones who destroyed the previous government, which was corrupt and concealing information from the public, are now becoming kind of corrupt and concealing information from the public. I'm like, great. It's realistic, it makes the characters more flawed and, you know, grounded, but at the same time, it sucks because I thought, you know, they would have made a really positive change. And on one hand, yes, they still have vastly improved certain areas when it comes to the government. Another pretty common theme in the episode seemed to be like children from previous seasons who were saved by our main characters, now grown up and either helping or interacting with those characters in some way. And I think that's great. It really shows the impact of, you know, what these people have done and how they're, you know, changing history in the world. Their actions 2 or 3 seasons ago are now directly affecting this character in the here and now, which is also very good writing. And that last little tease after the credits was very interesting. It looks like the Marleyans are not going to be waiting. I'm very curious to see how they pull this off, or don't, you know? I'm now at a weird point where I'm not really rooting for anybody anymore. I'm kind of just enjoying the ride. Like, there's obviously characters I like more than others, but I can no longer honestly say one person is more right than the other one. Most regards. There's obviously some exceptions to that. Either way, it should be interesting how this all plays out. Moving on to the technicals. Writing, which I've already talked about a little bit. Character motivations were, I think, very strong. A little too strong for Gabi. Like, they established her as a stubborn, headstrong character, so for her to be acting like this is not, you know, out of left field for the character, it just makes her incredibly irritating. Meanwhile, Falco is just trying to, you know, flow like water through every situation and avoid as much conflict as he can, very unsuccessfully thanks to Gabi. Again, I already talked about how it made sense for, you know, the townspeople to be upset about Aaron's imprisonment because they just don't have all the information. They don't understand exactly how fucked up and against, you know, the plan, what Aaron did was. I really enjoyed all the aged up characters, again, showing the consequences of characters' decisions, you know, from the past. Specifically all the stuff with Gabi having to encounter all these people that either loved or were saved by Sasha. In terms of plot progression, we actually did get a little bit in here. I mean, less than 30 seconds into the episode, Gabi and Falco escape. That was, in my opinion, incredibly rushed. I think they should have spaced that out just a little bit more. But then they met, you know, the Browse family and are now on their way to meet the chef, who is also from Marley. The people who leaked all the information are now in prison, which made me nervous the way they did that. They all seemed rather calm about it. And I suppose it could just be, you know, they feel like they didn't do anything wrong, so they're just accepting their punishment very gracefully. But I kind of doubt that. Every time this show makes you think something like that is going on, they in fact have, you know, a little trump card up their sleeve. And as for the pacing in this episode, it was very slow, with the exception of, you know, the opening minute of the episode, just having like a very big thing happen exceptionally quickly. Yeah, the rest of it was, again, focusing a lot on setting a few plot elements up, but really delving into the characters and their headspace. Gabi seemed to be the main focus of the episode. But as for writing, I'm actually going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think the writing was very well done here. Editing, there was some rather creative moments. I enjoy how when tension kind of peaks, the editing rapidly speeds up through the more energetic moments and then slows way down for the initial aftermath, just to kind of really sell the intensity and then slow wind down of these moments that happen. It's something that they do pretty much throughout the entire show, but seeing as this was a very, you know, non-action oriented episode, it was a little more apparent to me here. but there still wasn't, you know, a huge wow moment, so I'm gonna go for an 8 out of 10. Cinematography, it was quite good. There were some moments in this episode where they chose very interesting ways to frame certain things. Specifically the moment where everyone gets arrested and it's focused kind of just on the top of Hanji's head. It's a rather unconventional thing to do, but I think it sold how she was kind of feeling right there of, you know, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to actually do this, and just how exhausted from everything she is. So I think that was a wise choice, and there were a couple moments like that in the episode where some pretty artistic ways to frame things. So I'll go for a 9 out of 10. Sound design was great as always. I feel like I should give it a 10 out of 10 alone just for the intro theme, because it's just so good. But I've said it before, this show does tension exceptionally well. Like the moment when Gabi and Falco are, you know, trying to eat with Sasha's family. Like, it amplifies the tension well, but it also has such a somber, really melancholic kind of feel to it, which I think really exemplifies the dichotomy of where Gabi's headspace is at versus maybe Falco or the girl who actually knows they're from Marley. Because for Gabi, she's extremely worried that, you know, these people are going to find out who they are and she's going to have to kill more people. But that somber kind of feeling over everything just continues to remind you that, you know, these are good people who lost someone who was also a good person, caught up in a war doing very bad things. And again, they could have played that whole scene out completely silent, which I think would have done well in terms of amplifying the tension. But what they did there, I think, was able to give me both, you know, tension and emotion at the same time. So I'm gonna go for a 9 out of 10. Acting, I definitely know who I have to give it to because everyone is doing a fantastic job as always. But the one person who was really, really giving it their all, mostly because it's what the character needed to have in this episode, I think was Ayane Sakura for Gabi. Her character irritated me to no end, but the voice actor was really giving it their all, and even with how irritating she was able to still ground it enough in an actual emotion to make it feel real and not completely dismissible. So for the acting, I'm gonna go for another 9 out of 10. Costumes and makeup, obviously in this case, it's just the design of the characters, which I have always really liked. Said it before, it's a very grounded, realistic looking show. A lot of animated work will intentionally over-exaggerate features on certain characters or make their design, you know, very outlandish, usually to great effect as well. I do enjoy that, but it's really nice to see here how everything seems very naturalistic. People's hairstyles are, you know, very quote-unquote normal. The outfits are not super flashy or over-exaggerated either. They seem very real, like a military regime would actually wear this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go for a 10 out of 10. Set design. This episode gives you a decent amount of variety. Once again, everything feels naturalistic, very real, but the standout for me of this episode was the abandoned village that Sasha saved the girl from. Like, seeing everything overgrown. Not only was the artwork just beautiful in that section, but I think there's a sort of twisted irony in the fact that such horrible, horrible things happened here. And now after, you know, 4 years of nobody living here whatsoever because of what happened there, the place has actually become quite beautiful in like how overgrown and abandoned it's become. So I'm gonna go with another 10 out of 10. And finally, the visual effects, which I can't think of any that there would have been. As far as I can tell, I feel like this episode was all hand animated, which makes sense considering there's no, you know, huge Titan fights or anything like that. Even though I think the Titan fights should also be hand animated, it just looks better. But because there isn't really anything for me to work with, or if it is there, it's very well hidden or blended in, I'm just going to go with an 8 out of 10 to kind of round it out. And that gives this episode a 9.1 out of 10, which initially I probably would not have given it. But thinking about it, it really is a very well structured, very well written, very well composed episode. And even though it's focused very much on a character I am not a fan of, there are a lot of interesting things to explore with all that. At this rate, I kind of want to see her have some interactions with Eren. I feel like in a lot of ways they're very similar, just at two very different points in their life. So I think either a lot of good or a lot of bad could come out of that. Either way, I would be very interested to see it. So yeah, let's see. It's gonna be interesting. And that's about it.